muscles, okay? And you don't have to get up. All you need to do is breathe and relax. Let's lift your shoulders up. Breathe in, slowly back and down. Natural breathing, breathe in, shoulders up, back and down. 2 more. Breathe in, back and down. Up, back, down. Now your palm touch the clavicle. So again, make sure you're not rubbing the clavicle, but you are moving the skin over the bone, right? So touch and kind of give a little gentle shake. Okay. Make sure this is comfortable. So move up a little so you're hooking. So the clavicle goes from the center all the way up to where the bump is, where it connects the shoulder blades. So hook your finger. Same thing, move the skin. Same thing on the other side, over your clavicle. Move the skin. So flatten your hand. So you're touching the whole clavicle. Think about gently move the skin and muscles over the clavicle. Move up a little. You're hooking still. So feel that bone. Okay, now use this part of your fingers, your hands, on the edge of your chest muscle, but you want to make sure it's still a meaty part. Push in and give a good, comfortable massage. You don't push too much. Don't make it hurt. Make sure it's comfortable and feel good.
Oh.
Good.
Not too good.
End of the year sigh.
Goodness.
Okay, and switch to the other side. Use this part. It's a good, comfortable massage. So make sure it's always on the top part of your chest, between the underneath the clavicle, where the muscles are. Okay, now here is your breastbone, and this is where your muscle starts. Use the heel of your palm, push, start from the center, push out. Same thing on the other side, push out. Okay. Now, on the bony part, you're going to put your hands like this. So the movement for this is in and down as you bring this up. So breathe in. As you breathe out, you're going to push this down and you're going to look up. Feel the stretch in front
Wow.
of your neck. Look forward, breathe in. Breathe out, push down with your arm, with your hands, and look up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now, let's stretch a little more. So what you're gonna do is open your chest as you pull your shoulder blades toward each other, right? So from here, breathe in, pull. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, pull your elbows back, breathe out, relax. Okay, round your back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more. Breathe in. And breathe out. And let's do little, move back a little so you don't knock stuff off your table. All you're gonna do is like a swimming. So make sure you have enough space this way and also
Sorry,
this
it's just
way.
that
Okay,
I'm making more room for myself here.
reach forward. We're gonna go 8 times forward. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now go back with your elbows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more each way. Forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And shrug. Lift your shoulders up. Breathe in. Really slowly go down with your shoulders. One more time. Breathe in. Lift. And breathe out. Okay. How you guys feeling?
Good.
Good?
Yeah, good.
Okay. So today's mini Chinese medicine vocabulary is the Qi. And I think it's just so familiar. I think most of you heard of Qi, and it's just basically, it's the
Energy.
vital energy. So it's not like complicated system. It's vital energy. That is a force. It's a function, and it's in a constant flow. So if you're alive, the Qi is in a constant flow in your body. So when it stagnates, that's when it causes the pain or discomfort, or it can manifest as different kind of diseases. So Qi is it. And so it's also, it provides functions to the organs, and it keeps, of course, the force of circulation. It helps the blood for flowing, also the body fluid and blood flowing. Helps with, it is an immune system because it flows in many layers in our bodies. So it flows on the surface of our body as a defense system. So it does, so we are, the chi is protecting us from having the external pathogenic invasions. So, and organ functions. So it moves the heart, helps with the digestion and excretion, and also keeps the blood in the vessels so it doesn't bleed out of the into the surrounding tissues, and also keeps our organs in place. So if you are if we lose chi, that's when the organ prolapses happens too. So that's also the function of the chi in many ways. So I can I just want to make this really simple so you guys have the basic concept of the chi, but we have the prenatal chi and the postnatal chi. So prenatal chi is basically what we are born with. We get, just like DNA, we get half from our father and half from our mother. So that's our prenatal chi. And that is the chi that we are born with, and it's gonna get used up. You can't replenish it. But we supplement that prenatal chi with the postnatal chi, which comes from food and air. So basically we're keeping the health by getting good quality prenatal chi, and we want to conserve the usage of postnatal chi. So that's how we want to stay healthy, by keeping our prenatal chi, and want to have a good flow of chi, and we're going to replenish ourselves with the postnatal chi. So that's a little chi lesson. Okay, so now we want to talk about, I am going to share screen into my iPad. Share. Nice. Okay. Okay. Can you see the screen? Okay.
I like that it's stated.
Cool. Okay, so if you do you have my email address? Here's my email address. If you have any question, write it down if you don't have it. If you have any questions about books or anything that we talk about, anything, write me.
I have a question. How do you pronounce your name? Your last name?
Last
I've
name
never
is
heard it.
last name. That's my stepdad's last name, my mom's last name, Kinst Hori.
Oh, Kinst.
Yeah, Kinst.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you. Good. Ready to move on?
Sure.
Okay. So we talk about chi. Okay, so I want to talk about the common muscles that we always hear about. We want to talk about the biceps and triceps and shoulder, the rotator cuff, which you're going to hear all the time. I just want to give you a visual to what you hear, so you have a deeper understanding of your body. And when your doctor talks about stuff, you will know. It's like, oh yeah, it's the infraspinatus and supraspinatus. So biceps, you know where your biceps are? Yes. That's the biceps. And again, the muscles only can contract or relax. So when you are making the biceps big, that's when you're contracting the bicep muscle. And in order to contract the muscle has to be connected to two joints, right? I shouldn't have put this away. Here's the person again. Can you still see? No, you can't see, because I am sharing the screen. So let's just talk about. Okay, and you can see this one, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so the biceps, this is the biceps. Can you see my pointer?
Yes.
Yes.
So biceps, bi means two. So biceps have two heads that attaches to the shoulders. And in order to move your arms, you're flexing your arms. That's what the biceps do. So biceps has to cross two joints, right? It has to, that's not triceps, that's biceps, sorry. So it has to cross the elbow joint and the shoulder joints, right?
Right.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
you have to have two different joints pulled together in order to move the arms. So I'll talk about more with the skeleton later, but it's attaches to. So here is the attachment. The bottom attachment attaches to the below the elbow joint, right there. And if you peel all these shoulder muscles, here are two. Good. Here's two head. So one is right here. That's the first head. The second head is right here. So that's the two heads. So one goes across the top of your shoulder joints.
Wow.
And this guy goes up here. And can you guess what bone is this?
Huh.
This is actually the front part of the shoulder blades. Isn't that crazy?
Oh,
So this is your clavicle, all right? That's your clavicle. And attaches to, that's your shoulder blades. And there's a little knobby guy comes in the front to the chest.
my word.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
So the biceps, the back tightness also affects the, how you can see how everything's so intricate and everything so, depending
Right.
on each other.
That's
So
an awful skinny little tendon holding that muscle.
I know.
I mean,
right?
wow.
That's true.
Mm. Does that get injured a lot?
I think so. Like you get like when you are carrying stuff, heavy stuff, and you're like, you're pulling up all of a sudden, or you're keep carrying the heavy stuff, picking up grandkids. I think you get injured a lot. I think you hear and you get also a lot of impingement, which is the tightness of the muscles around here that pinches the tendon and muscles. That's where you hear the impingement.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, you do.
I do that a lot.
You're familiar with that work?
Very familiar.
All right, so that's the biceps. So what's opposite of the biceps? What extends your arm?
Relaxing it.
But what's the muscle that extends your arm?
Tricep. Your triceps.
It's the triceps.
Oh.
So the back of that. So the biceps is the front part of your upper arm, right? The tricep extends your arms. So that's on the back side of your arms, right? So that's your triceps. This guy right here. Whoop. You see? So that's triceps. Again, it crosses two joints. It crosses your elbow joint. So it attaches the below the elbow joints and it attached to the shoulder joints. And so the biceps, bi is two, triceps, tri. So
Oh,
what?
my
It
God.
has three attachments.
Aye.
So there is one here,
Triceps.
the second
One
one
there.
here, and third one is actually it's right here. And again, look at this. Where does this? So this is the head of femur, which is your arm bone. And where does this guy attach to?
Shoulder blade.
Yeah, that's the shoulder blades.
That's the shoulder blade.
Crazy. So it partially attaches to the arms, and
Wow.
this guy goes behind, right? Behind this, if you can see from here, behind his shoulder and the lats to attach to the shoulder blades.
My word.
And you have this. So just wanted to kind of give you idea of what they are and what they do. And, you know, they can be attached to different things. So, and I'm sure everybody's heard of rotator cuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
The rotator cuff is not one muscle, but it's the groups of muscle that it's involved with the rotating of the shoulders. So, you know, internal rotation and external rotation. So that is, and it's got a lot to do with, well, mostly with what's attached to the shoulder blades and what's attached to your top of femur. So 4 muscles in the rotator cuff. It's the group. So the first one is right here. This is supraspinatus. So this is the spine of the shoulder blade. So shoulder blades
Wow.
are, you know, this big,
Oh,
right? And there's the spine of your shoulder blade is this little bony structure, right? So the top of the spine, supra, on top, spinatus, spine, the top of the spine. So that's supraspinatus. And the second one is infra, which you could probably tell. It's the below. And the little guy, teres minor. So 3 on the shoulder blades attached to your shoulder joints. And 1 is, this is crazy. Can you see this is behind the shoulder blades?
Behind.
Right here. So
That's
That is subscapularis. It's inside of scapula. So if you're trying to,
Okay.
I'll show you how to just kind of maybe get into it, but it's behind the scapula. It's attached to the head of femur. So when you go back to, so if you could see, again, if you think about, where is my eraser? Okay, this is supraspinatus. If you think about what happens when this contracts, you could tell what the function of it, right? So these guys look like when they contract, can you see how this can externally rotate your shoulders?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll bring in the skeleton and talk about it later. But if you don't have to know what they do, you just need to know where are they attached to and what happens when they pull toward each other.
Okay,
So that's and I just wanted to show you. So that's where that's the front part, that's the chest.
Mhm.
And if you go behind, so that's where the supraspinatus, subscapularis attached to. It's right there into there. So, and I just wanted to, all these apps that I've been using is called Essential Anatomy. And if you are interested in looking at different muscle group, this is great apps to have. If you are interested in. So this is called Essential Anatomy. It's the app you could buy on your phone or your tablet.
No, right.
And I just want to show you. Just want to show you. Can you still see? Okay.
Oh,
This
here we
is
go.
Essential Anatomy. And you could move. Look at this. You can move around. You can make it big. If you want to see how it's going.
Wow.
What's the bottom of the leg
Oh, wow.
look like? You can make it.
Mhm.
You can make it small. You can make it big. And on the side. Sorry.
Can you repeat again how I can get this? How we can get this?
It's, the app store from
Yeah.
either,
But what's the app called again?
it is called Essential Anatomy.
Oh, Essential Anatomy. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you. Essential
Sure.
Anatomy.
So, and if you look at the right, you see this on the right side column has a skin muscle. So when you, let's do so this is C tissue is the connective tissue. As you could see, there's a gap between your rib cage and the sternum. And see, all the connective tissue is connecting everything. And you can add muscles from one layer at a time. All right.
wow, my word.
And so we talked about the biceps. So let's talk about the biceps. So when you click on it, it gives you bicep brachii, long head, which is the one has the longer tendon.
Mhm.
So when you point, when you touch it, it colors up and it's gives you the name. If you go to this info, they give you what they do. And you could also at the bottom, if you go, there's isolate, hide, fade others and hide others. So if you go isolate, it isolates that muscle.
Incredible, wonderful.
Great.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah,
I know some medical students and all this decades ago that would have loved this.
Sure beats using a cadaver every time.
Makes you so much more knowledgeable going into a doctor for a specific problem.
Yeah. And also, if you have any kind of like, I have a shoulder pain, you go into shoulders and then what's involved, what's happening. If you think about what movement makes it, I mean, you could like.
Right, work on
use
it
for your-
exercise wise. And
So I just wanted to show you that. So that is essential anatomy. So that I've been using that. I'm taking like screenshots of it to give you the visuals. So let's talk about foot and ankles. Do you need to take a break? Is it too dry?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'd go for low water.
Okay, go get some water, please. Let's get 4-minute break.
Akiyo, we can see you. If you're pinned, your video shows up right alongside of your screen. You just can't see yourself.
Oh,
We
okay. So when I move, you could still see.
see you move, right?
Okay, good, group, perfect. Okay. So this is not too small. If I show my person,
Correct.
can you see?
I can see. He's waving his hand, swinging it around.
Good. Okay, 1 more minute. Everybody back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so I just want to give a little visual again. So the biceps, when we talked about biceps, can you see my person here?
Yes.
His arm. So the biceps flexes the arm. So if you are not attaching the muscle, if the muscle is just attached to, let's say, just the femur, by contracting this muscle, it doesn't move anything, right? That makes sense. But if you go across the joint, so if it's attached to, so the muscle has to at least cross one joint. So if the muscle is attached to here, let's say to the femur, if when this contracts,
Ah,
it bends, my person doesn't bend, well here. So it pulls this side. That makes sense?
yes.
So if you want to make a muscle to lift your shoulders, it has to
The crossover.
attach cross here to make this move, right? So we talked about rotator cuff. So if you're attach a muscle here to there, when this contracts, that externally rotate your shoulders.
Oh,
Yeah?
That's what I.
oh, okay. Wow. Yeah.
Foot and ankles.
Okay. Now we're going to move on to, today we want to talk about, and we're going to move foot and ankle. And this is another crazy stuff, but so as you can see, there are little muscles you could see in between here. You see here, but can you see all these skinny tendons right here? You see it here. Can you see all these tendons?
Yeah.
So the movement of your feet are done by all these muscles. So you do have like a little between feet muscles, but most of the movement, ankle and foot movement, are in charge. These guys on top, or the lower leg muscles, are involved or in charge of moving your feet. So that's why everything's connected. Your ankle's connected to your calf, and calf is connected to your knees. So just wanted to show you that. So it's very important to keep your feet moving. Alright, so I want to go back to the anatomy app to show you the legs. Okay. So, and we've been talking about Charlie horses, and
Oh,
so these guys are the major calf muscles that have a crazy contraction and wakes us up middle of the night, right?
Mm.
So
Oh,
if these are what do they do? So when they contract, it pushes. So when you do the toe raises, that's where you are working these muscles. Those are toe raises muscles, pointing toes muscles. So
Mhm.
if you look at the opposite, come back. So when you lift your toes, do you feel the tightness in front of your shin?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is your tibialis, which is right here. And tell your tibialis. It's on the outside of the tibia.
Oh,
BLS.
Okay.
And that's when you get the shin splints.
Oh,
So those are Charlie horse's muscles. Those are shin splints muscles when they get
Really?
tight. So we're going to play with how to stretch these areas and condition your legs. So,
Good.
and I just wanted to also show you the front part. Everybody knows the quads. So the quads are, again, it's the group of muscles. So the quadriceps. So if the triceps 3, biceps 2, quadriceps is 4. So, and you have, so this is one of the quadriceps. So it's this medialis, and rectus femoris is the major. And this is the only leg muscle, or the quad muscle, that crosses not just your knee, but crosses the hip too. So when you have a hip issues, a lot of times you might have really tight quads muscle. So this 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one is underneath. Where's the oh. There's one. Intermedius. So right underneath the major one, there's another guy. But except for the vastus medialis, they are just crossing. So they merge and attach. This is your kneecap, and this is your shin, right? And there's a little tendon that attaches. So that's the attachment of your quadricep muscles. And 3 out of 4 muscles attaches below the head of femur. So it's 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. And the major one, the medialis, this guy goes up, and look where it attaches to. Craziness.
Which one is that?
This is one of the quadricep muscles,
Right.
right? It
But the-
attaches to your hip bone right there.
Oh,
That's your pelvis. And one more muscle that you are going to hear a lot about is
injuring them.
Have you guys heard of psoas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Psoas
Psoas
is another
muscle.
crazy muscle.
very deep.
Starts with a P.
Yes. Let's peel this guy. There you
Jesus.
go. Can you see? That's the psoas muscle.
Phew.
Oh, I thought it went down to the thigh more.
And look at this.
Very
It's
deep.
crazy.
Jeez.
Psoas attaches to your spine and comes all the way, crosses inside of your pelvis, and comes under and over, comes out of this, and attaches to your femur.
can you show us a movement for that muscle?
This,
Yeah, in your body.
yes, I will do that. But can you guess from where it's attached to?
Well, it's the back and the top of the leg, but I want to see the correct movement. I guess any movement would do it.
It's,
Was lifting the leg?
yeah, it does bend
In the leg.
your it's like seated position
Yes. Yeah.
is when it's contracted. That's why
Oh.
we have so many psoas, tight psoas. issues. And we're going to talk about this movement. And also we're going to move on to the next week. We're going to talk about the back. But can you see how tight psoas affects your lower back? Because it's like it pulls on the lower back.
Yeah.
And how the seated, prolonged seated position, it just wrecks your back because this gets really tight.
And you say when you're seated, that's contracting? It
Yeah,
doesn't-
because when you're seated,
Doesn't sound,
this is because when you're seated position, your knee is bent and your hips are at 90 degrees. So let's
right?
get out of this so I can talk about, I am going to stop share. And I'm going to come back. Yes, the upper arm. So this is the humerus. Yes. And femur. Did I say it wrong? So this is humerus. And this is femur.
Right.
Okay. So the psoas attaches deeper. So it's not even, you have to go really deep from the back. And you
Right.
have to go really deep
Deep in
from
the
the
front.
front too. So psoas attached to this area,
And it comes
it's under here
Right.
and attaches right
touches.
here.
Jeez.
Right.
So when it's contracted, right? So this is
Oh,
seated
oh,
position.
yeah. Okay.
See, if you're just stay here and this guy gets really tight because they don't know, they're just sitting there.
Yeah. This
And
is,
they forget how to like relax. I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable. I'm just gonna stay there, and all of a sudden you stand up and it just pulls on this thing and go like, what do I
enlightening.
do now? So
Very, very good. All right, thank you.
let's talk about the lower legs and the psoas and everything. So we're gonna stand up and get up. Okay. And I am going to okay, so make sure you have some space, not much. And also think about stretching, right? When you stretch, let's talk about the shin and the calf. So they are opposing muscles, just like biceps. So biceps do this. Tricep do this, right? So they are opposing muscles. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when those are kind of like opposing pair muscles, right? So when this is contracting, the opposing muscle is relaxed or the stretching. That makes sense,
Yeah.
right? Because this has to be stretched in order to this side to be contracting. So the opposing movement, which is, that's the tricep, this is contracting, this stretches. So that's another way to stretch the muscle, is think about the opposing muscle and think of how to contract the opposing muscle to stretch the muscle. Just like what we're doing, we are contracting the back muscle to stretch the chest. That makes sense? When you contract the chest muscle, you are stretching the back muscle. When you contract the tricep, you're stretching the, when you're contracting the biceps, you're stretching triceps. Vice versa, when you're contracting the triceps, you are stretching the biceps. So your leg muscle So everybody knows the calf stretch. Yes?
Yeah,
It stretches your calf, right? So when you stretch in the calf, it contracts the tibialis, which is the shin muscle. So if you feel it, you do have a muscle in front. So not much, it's mostly the calf muscle inside, but if you touch kind of like outside of your lower leg, can you feel your tibialis? And this is what, think about again, contraction. This, lift your toes up, right? Can you touch here and try to lift your toes up? You feel the contraction of the muscle?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
So we do a lot of calf stretch, but we don't do much shin stretch. When we walk, when we go upstairs, when we move, I mean, this gets used too. So the stretching is anchoring one side of the muscle and pull the other end. So that's when you feel the stretch. So if you do, for example, this is the easiest example, is when you stretch the calf, you are anchoring. So if you don't anchor your heel, you're not stretching the calf, right?
Mhm.
But
Right.
when you push your heel down, that's when you start to feel the stretch,
right.
right? So
Yeah.
always when you do the stretch, always think about which muscle you're stretching and where are the muscles attached to. So, and of course, it is attached to heel to your knee. So you need to stretch that and you need to anchor one side, pull the other way. Okay. So how do we stretch the, this is one of the things that I that's the tool that I was hoping to give you. So if you understand where the muscles are, you would know how to stretch them, right? So if you want to stretch this, when you contract, this contracts. So you have to do this to stretch. So you could, this is the easiest, and you could, you can come up with the other way, but you could put the top of your foot on the floor and just kind of lower your hip.
Ooh,
You feel the stretch on the front part of your shin?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So you could do,
But also the front part of your foot, the top of
yes,
your foot.
yes. Because it's, yeah, you have to do this to
Yeah.
stretch. So,
Okay,
so that stretches the shin. This stretches your calf.
wow, okay.
And also, the calf is a big muscle, and it's just like inner part and outer part. So you could, let me check. Do you have the full screen? No?
Yes.
Yes,
All right, so if, maybe I can show you the closer look on my feet.
I don't have a full screen. I just have everybody's a small size.
Oh,
Um,
I should be pinned.
yeah. What do you mean pinned?
May
Oh, I
have
see,
a
see a full
I see a
size.
pin.
I see a full size.
Yeah.
I see a little pin in your name next to your name.
Mm-hmm. That means I'm pinned, so I should be the one big.
But you're
Green.
not. Yeah, but you were before, but you're not anymore.
Hmm.
I don't understand.
I can see a full screen of you, Akiyo.
Yeah, that's what
Coming
is
down
showing
to
on mine
you.
too.
You're spotlighted, so
Yeah,
everybody
I have
should
you
see you,
I have you
depending on
next
their
to the
device.
TV.
I see you. It's certified.
Correct.
Where?
Yes. You might want to get to your view so that you can get to the speaker view.
I got to the view, speaker.
Speaker
Can you
view?
see my feet?
Oh, okay, the speaker view. Okay, thank you.
Try that.
I've got it. Okay,
Yeah.
now I've got
Okay.
it. Thank you very
So-
much.
You're welcome.
You could explore the angles of your, so this is a straight on.
Mhm.
If you turn your heels out little or in, you will,
Difference.
you feel the different parts of your
Yeah,
calf stretching,
Yeah.
yeah?
different, yeah.
Oh,
So you can always anchor different ways. So
oh.
same thing was when you're doing the hip stretch, you could play with turning your toes out, pushing your heels out, pointing your toes front. So those are like a little things that you could play with. Okay, so since we talked about psoas, so could everybody see how psoas can mess us up,
Mhm.
right? Because psoas, to like go into psoas, if you go to like abdominal massage, they can actually go into like, they can dig into,
Yeah,
go into psoas, but that's like horrible, don't try it. But you see the center of the spine is right here, right? And that's the center of your tummy. Psoas is right in deeper in there. That's where it starts. And then it goes in and you feel your pelvis, right?
Yes.
Your pelvic bone
Mhm.
inside of this. Ooh, I do have pelvis. I mean, I have an extra pelvis. I have this, but I have this too.
We're happy for you.
That's it. I know. It's like, yeah. So you feel, so this is the edge that you feel right here.
Mhm.
Inside, if you kind of dig your fingers in, that's where the psoas attached to. Okay. That's your tailbone. So that's where psoas goes in, goes under and comes out right here.
Maybe that's what hurts me.
And also it's called iliopsoas. Psoas is the big muscle connects from the spine all the way down to your legs. And somebody said maybe that's what's hurting. I think it's most likely it is. If you're like, that's when we sit a lot, it hurts. And iliacus is, this is ilium. It's another muscle. It's it kind of merges with the psoas. That's why it's called iliopsoas. So psoas goes in this way and it kind of blends in with the iliacus, starts, this
Mhm.
is inside into the leg. So both of them, psoas comes from the spine, meet the iliacus. So that's another muscle right here. So, all these muscles inside goes here, and the action is this. That makes sense?
Yeah, I do that.
yeah,
Yeah. And that's what we do a lot,
I can, yeah, you can really feel it.
Oh,
right?
very,
awesome.
So-
very edifying.
That makes sense?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
my word.
So how do we stretch that?
Mhm.
Hmm. Tough
by
one.
standing up, right?
Oh.
So, but when you stand up and when you're walking, if you walk this way,
Mhm.
it doesn't quite stretch here, right? Because this is still bent.
Mhm.
So by doing the opposite, so make sure you are comfortable. You could do this lying down, but when you stretch your quads, remember the quads, the front part of your thigh. This is the quad stretch, right?
All right.
So if this is too much, sometimes it helps when you're lying down on your tummy
Mhm.
and do this, or anything to bend your knee and lift your chest up. Anything to increase the angle. It just stretches.
Oh, man.
Can you feel that? It doesn't have to be a lot.
Mhm.
And also, what's the opposing muscle to? So this is called hip flexor. You're flexing the hip.
Yeah.
What is the hip extension? So if this is the flexion, extension is the other way. There. And we have this big helper. The one of the biggest muscle we have is your butt. So by extending your hip, again, it's the opposing muscle. Hip flexor is whatever the muscle that makes your hip flexed. One of the major hip extensor muscle is the glute. So if you just lift your leg, but when you lift your leg, don't use the back, right? So think about what muscles it's working. So as you lift, straight leg, think squeezing your butt. By doing that, do you already feel some stretching in the front?
Yeah.
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So that's another way. It's very easy. You don't have to do a lot of stuff. You just lift, 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 but lift your chest up and think about increasing this angle.
So that would help the psoas, what you
Yes.
just did? Okay,
That is stretching the psoas.
right,
Because
right.
psoas contraction, right?
Yeah,
This is the opposing muscle. So when I contract opposing muscle, which is the psoas is part of it, it is stretching it.
great.
Does it
Yes.
matter if your foot is pointed or flexed? Does that bear a difference when you go back?
In terms of this area, it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
But the major part is your glute muscle. So make sure that you're not arching your back to make this happen, but crunching your butt to lift your leg. So think by squeezing, you're visualizing. That's when two joints are coming together. Okay. That's this. Okay, so let's think about the squats. So squats are great, but if you have any knee problems or hip issues, any exercises that you do shouldn't hurt anything. Okay, everything has to be comfortable. You're gonna feel muscles working, like the muscle burning, well, you don't want to work out to the point when it burns, but it's like burning is good, but pain is not good, right? Okay, so when you're strengthening the muscle, you're fatiguing the muscle, but you're not breaking the muscle. So squat. So think about this guy. So squatting, make sure when you squat, your knees don't come forward of your feet, but you want to stick your butt out. So it's not this way, but it's this way. So think about your kneecap. So kneecap can't go anywhere if this is pushed forward.
Yeah.
If you keep your shin perpendicular to the floor, it doesn't put pressure on your kneecap. So I do that with this body. So when you do the squats or when you have to go down on the floor, don't go down with your knee, but go think butt out first, right? So lifting with the legs, that's what they say, same thing. So think, push away your butt first, then you're gonna bend your knees. That's the right way to squat. Okay? So see how I'm gonna show you the bad squat. This is the bad squat. See how my knees are going beyond my toes? Okay, this shouldn't happen.
Oh, got it.
So if you look down from your knees, you should be able to see your toes. If your knees covers your toes, if you look down, you can't see your toes, you're doing it wrong. Stick your butt out. When in doubt, stick your butt out. Okay? That's how we are made to move, to protect our integrity, protect our bodies. This is how mechanically designed to do the squat. So it's here, not here. So just like sitting, when you sit down, you don't push your knees forward, right? Your body knows. You don't push this way. You sit down this way, right?
Yes.
That's the right way to squat. So
Wow.
how's the squatting?
Good.
Oh,
Good.
Akiyo?
Any questions?
Yes, Akiyo.
Yes.
This is Kathy.
Yeah.
When I try to do squats, I
Uh-huh.
tried it your way, but
Uh-huh.
I have to hold on to something. So I
Yes.
held on to the sink.
Uh-huh.
And it was really amazing doing it that way, going down. But I
Uh-huh.
wasn't quite sure how to get back up.
So when you're going back up,
Yeah.
and again, that's a great question, because when you have to hold on, when you have to go deep and you lose balance, you're already going too far. So
Okay.
start with, if that's all you could do without losing balance, start from there.
Okay.
Okay, so
Mhm.
but the main thing is to push. So you want to push this back.
Mhm.
There, that's it. And when you come back up, think of pushing from your heels
Okay.
so that your weight should be toward the back. You
Oh,
shouldn't be pushing up with your toes.
okay.
See how, like, if I'm trying to push with my toes, I'm going to lose balance. But
Mhm.
if I stay on my heels, push through your heels, I can keep my balance. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. So it's good to have something you can hold on to make sure you're safe, but also if you have to hold on, try to make it less.
Mhm.
Okay. So you want to have something always there in case you can hold on,
Mhm.
but there, so you want to make sure that your body learns that safe pathway. Okay. That's it. That's all you need to do. And keep your feet about your hip width apart.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's more comfortable going a little bit wider and have your feet wider, do it.
Okay.
But you want to get to feet about your hip or sit bones width apart.
Mm-hmm.
Chest is up.
Akiyo,
Yes.
why has it become so important for seniors to do squats? Because I hear about them all the time everywhere now.
Squats are great thing to do anyway, because when we lose the ability to walk,
Mm-hmm.
everything else is going to go. And it's to keep a good sturdy base. It's a fall prevention, right?
Oh, okay.
It's the basic squat you can always apply to. It's the same muscle that you use to walk, go
Mhm.
upstairs, go
Mhm.
downstairs, keep your balance as you stand. So that those are like the basic core,
Use the bathroom.
right? So you have to, so when you sit down in the bathroom, getting up from the, you know, from the toilet, you know,
Yeah.
right? You have to have leg strength to go down
Mhm.
and stand back up,
Mhm.
and or lifting your leg go over to get into the bathtub. It's all in this. So, but it just, the squat is always important exercise to do. So if you don't want to do anything, just do squat.
Wow.
Because squat works everything. It works the front part of your thigh, back part of your thigh, your lower legs, and your core, your back muscles. So that's why it's kind of like a
Mhm.
very versatile strengthening exercise.
Can you show us from the side you
Yes.
doing a full squat?
Mhm.
What your body looks
So-
like?
You see?
Yes.
So butt goes out first,
Mhm.
bend your knee, don't push your knees forward,
Mhm.
push your butt back. So this shin stays relatively perpendicular to the floor, right?
Mhm.
And come back up. Stay, if you have to stay, think about where to be on your feet. Think about the middle towards your heel. So you want to be like in this area of your foot.
Okay.
So you should always be able to wiggle your toes, no matter where you are. Down, up. That's it.
Oh, so we don't have to go all the way down.
No, no.
Oh, okay.
So don't go
I understand.
more than. So that's,
That's
I
a
could do
full.
it, but don't do it. And just do
nice.
that.
Okay. Wow.
And
Thank you.
basically avoid bending your knees more than 90 degrees
Mhm.
with the weights. You
Okay.
can, you know, you could do this for flexibility, but you
Mhm.
don't want to do,
With it on the
you know,
floor.
all, you don't want to, I mean, if you can get on the floor, that's great, but you know, if you don't have to, then don't do it. Yeah, just, this is as far as you want to get to.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Since we kind of worked on the hip area, let's talk about the hip circles. Do you have any questions about legs? And, oh, I want to show you, if you have the knee issue, if you have done the knee surgeries, or if you have knee pain that you can't do, if this is painful, so, okay, this is too painful, make it less. And if this is okay, do it.
Mhm.
Or any of these doesn't work, when you do, remember our leg exercises. So leg extension works the front part of your thigh, which this is the leg raise, the leg extension. It works on your quads. So this still involves the bending and straightening. So if that's hard, do this. And if this still hurts your knee, I have one more option. So this is what you're gonna do. So you are sitting on the edge of anything. Doesn't have to be a chair. It can be on the on a bed. Keep your leg, extend this leg, squeeze your thigh. So you feel this muscle working. Lift your toes up. Sorry, you can't quite see. Let me adjust. Can you see my foot?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so straighten, squeeze your thigh, lift your toes up and lift.
Oh, wow. Wow. Oh.
I love those voices.
Don't hurt yourself, Larry.
Yeah.
Strengthens your knee area. And also, as you could see, you have to hold this
yeah.
up. It works your tummy and your core muscles too. So you can lift, just lift off the floor, but squeeze this, lift your toes up and hold, lift your chest up, you can hold it for like, I don't know, 10 to 15 counts, rest.
Oh, that's good.
And then squeeze again, lift, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, let's do 10, and
48,
down.
49, 50.
Relax. Again, squeeze, lift, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, down. So you could do this, hold it up to 10 to 15 counts, and you could do this 3 to 5 sets, maybe twice or 3 times a day. If you have any knee issues, that's what you can do. How's that?
I like it.
Good.
Good.
That was good. That was
Okay.
very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, thank you.
So there's always different ways to work your muscles. And if everything hurts, just squeezing the muscle, that's when you're, let's say when your elbow's hurting, but you want to work on your biceps, you could just squeeze the biceps. That's working your muscles already, right? Like when you touch it, it's contracting. Or you could do this to work your chest muscle. Remember those, what's that called? You must. It's
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.
Must be. No. I think she wanted to say something else.
Namaste.
yes.
Akiyo.
What's her name from 80s?
Akiyo, this is Susan. I have a question. How do you work the glutes?
My Ruby's asleep.
Glutes. We did this. The easiest way to work your glutes are lifting. This is isolating your glutes, lifting.
Just contract.
But squat works your glutes.
Okay.
Thank
Any
you.
other muscles?
Dip bones.
Anything else?
You know, everything's making sense. You know, that
Good.
always active class and all those different exercises. Now it's coming into play the why. Why are we doing this type of certain exercise? And it's to benefit these muscles and whatnot. So it's, yeah, it comes together and makes sense.
Yeah, makes your form better in doing that particular movement.
Exactly.
Yes. So in the daily modern life, we're always forward. We're always, you know, I mean, this is like, you know, you're out there and you're protecting yourself. So everything has to, you know, you have to be ready to fight, but that's what it does. This lifts up. This needs to be here. So your neck needs to be long. Your chest is up. So when you look up, for example, when you look up, make sure it's happening from the chest and the chin, but not with your neck.
Keep pushing it. Keep pushing it. Keep
Yeah.
pushing it.
That feels different.
Right? And this really crunches here. But if you lift this up, same thing, but you feel it's a lot easier to look up from your chest and up. I'm looking at the same place, but if everything's crunched, like I feel a lot of tension in the back of the neck. So I don't know why I got there, but yeah. So the sitting, same thing. So think about undoing all our daily stuff, which is sitting, fighting, doing the text. All right, so we did the leg exercise. We talked about psoas. We're gonna do the foot and ankle next week, I guess. So next week we are gonna get into your feet. So either have extra chair. So either have an extra chair so you can put your foot up, or do it on the edge of the bed, or just do have a comfortable setting. If I mean, you can always get on the floor, but you know, we're gonna do stuff on the floor, but make sure you're comfortable. So make sure you can reach your feet, and if not, well, there's always different way to do it. So okay, that's it. Any questions? Good class, everybody.
Yeah, wonderful.
It was wonderful.
Fantastic.
Incredible.
Learning.
Good
I like
class.
this.
Thank you.
If you wanna play your anatomy applications, and if you have any questions, you can email me.
Okay, will do.
Okay.
Happy New Year,
Fantastic.
everyone.
Thanks again. I'll see you.
Happy New Year.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy
Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.
Bye.